All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Cleveland Cavaliers video. We're going to talk about Caris LeVert possibly making his way to Cleveland. There were some rumors coming out yesterday that the Cavs do have interest in Caris. It might make sense. But before we get into today's video, if you guys enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are about 70 subscribers away from 10,000. So every like, every comment, every new subscriber helps out the algorithm so much. So thank you, especially Cavs Nation. Like, you guys have, like, words can't describe how much you guys mean to me. Caris is interesting. You know, the whole concept of trading for, like, a player who isn't, going to be like in the buyout market, something like that. It's interesting for Cavaliers fans. And, I think after watching last night's game, because if you guys don't know already, I live here in Chicago. I'm a very big Bulls fan. So I watched like the whole Bulls Cavs game last night. And one thing I've really noticed for the Cavaliers is that, and I get comments about this all the time. Love when you guys comment, by the way. I love hearing your guys' insights. It's absolutely awesome. But a lot of people have been saying, and myself included, that this Cavs team with Colin Sexton injured, they're just lacking like a reliable, sturdy second option as far as scoring the basketball goes. And Colin Sexton, losing Sexton for the year really sucks. It really sucks. Personally, and this might be a hot take, Cavs Nation, let me know if this is a hot take. But personally, I think there is more upside with Isaac Okoro than there is with Colin Sexton. I'll just say it. Colin Sexton is a gifted scorer. This man is one hell of a scorer. But for me, Isaac Okoro, he's more so what I feel like the NBA is shifting into: defensive two-way players who can score the basketball. And Isaac, in his second year right now, he will have good offensive games, but he's not like a reliable bucket. Like, you can't just give the ball to Isaac Okoro and just know 100% he's going to go out and score the bucket. Like, he's going to score. With Colin Sexton, I feel like that's the case. Maybe it's not 100%. I'm no mathematician. But for the most part with Colin Sexton, if you need a bucket, you feel pretty good with Sexton. With Isaac Okoro, it's more whenever he decides, or not decides, that's wrong word choice. Whenever he goes off on offense or just has a good offensive night, it's like a nice surprise. Because when I think of Isaac Okoro, I think three-point shooting. What am I saying? When I think of Isaac Okoro, I think of defense. But this season, he's really taking a step offensively. He's even shooting threes. Long term, I like Isaac Okoro more than Colin Sexton. And does that mean you trade Colin? My only issue with keeping Colin Sexton on the Cavaliers here, because you got a couple more years with him. He's out for the whole year, but my issue with keeping Colin Sexton is this: he's gonna want a fat bag. Fat bag. And is it whoever pays Colin Sexton? I don't think it will be Cleveland. Whoever pays Colin is going to be happy, because you have a gifted scorer, like I said. But two-way players, guys who can guard almost anybody on the perimeter in their second year only, they don't come by often. Guys who show great flashes of offensive potential. Like, there was, I don't know if it was against the Bulls or it was a game before, but there was a play where Okoro gets the ball in the corner, like kind of jab steps, drives to the lane, gets like his shit wrecked, throws it up under the rim, gets the and one. And it was like, hold on, I gotta take my glass off. It's like, what? Is that the future of Isaac Okoro? I think it is. I really do. So Caris LeVert, do you trade Ricky Rubio? Do you trade Colin Sexton? I don't know. I don't know what the Indiana Pacers are looking for. All I know is they're gonna need, I know they say they want at least 2 first-round picks, but I don't know if that's really what it comes down to. Ricky Rubio in a first-round pick, Colin Sexton in a first-round pick. What I'm trying to say here is the Cavaliers do have some leeway. I'm not saying trade Colin Sexton for Caris LeVert. That is definitely not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say trade Ricky Rubio for Caris LeVert. But what I am trying to say is a player like Caris LeVert, whatever it would take, like I said, I don't know. Would it, like a Dean Wade in a first-round pick, get the job done for Indiana? Most likely not. But would Ricky Rubio in a first-round pick get it done for Indiana? Most likely not. I'm not really sure. Once again, Indiana is one of those franchises where it's like, I feel like this whole damn roster has been on, like Miles Turner specifically has been on the trade market for like 5 years now. I know he hasn't even been in Indiana for 5+ years, has he? But he's been in the trade market for at least the last 3 seasons. And so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Indiana. But what I do know is the Cavaliers they're desperately lacking a second scorer right now. Like, they really are. And your bench can really only last so often. Come playoff time, I think that's my biggest concern with the Cavs is, do they have that guy outside of Darius Garland who can go out there and score immediately? Because it's not coming off of the bench. And outside of the starters, you know, you do have all good offensive games some nights from Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen the other night with a career high. But how long is it going to last? Like, it would be nice to go out and get another scorer, particularly a shooter. Joe Harris, Terrence Ross. But today we're talking about Caris LeVert. Now, I don't have a proposed trade video idea, but I do have Caris LeVert statistics here. Personally, I first became a fan of LeVert in Brooklyn, in his last season in Brooklyn. And when he got traded, I was kind of upset because I like the talent in Indiana, like Sabonis, Turner, Brogdon, Warren, LeVert, McConnell. Like, there's a lot of talent in Indiana, but for some reason they just can't piece it together at all. Personally, I think it's because there isn't one of those players isn't like marginally better than the others, except maybe Domantas Sabonis. I think he might actually be one of the most underrated players in the NBA. Caris LeVert this season, 18.4 points per game, about 4 rebounds. Shooting the 3 ball, not that great, 33%, but keep in mind, you know, he's taking about 5 a game. I think Caris LeVert would allow JB to get a little bit more creative. I think it would allow him to get a lot more creative with this lineup. Cedi Osman is going through a rough shooting slump right now, and that's kind of been the case for his entire NBA career. You can't really rely on a guy like Osman at this point. Dylan Windler, there's a lot of potential there shooting the basketball wise. There's a lot of potential there. You just can't rely on. Rajon Rondo, I think, is going to open up a bunch of opportunities for this Cavaliers bench, but he hasn't played in a while, and Rajon Rondo isn't known for his scoring. Kevin Love really is the only reliable guy on the Cavaliers bench that you can look at and be like, he's probably going to give us at least 10. But Kevin Love, for the most part, every night gives you at least 10 points per game. Brandon Goodwin, you know, these guys just aren't at that point. This Cavaliers team is extremely young. So I think trading for a player like Caris LeVert, once again, I don't know what it would take. Would it take only Colin Sexton? Would you ask for a first-round pick in return? Or would you give Sexton in a first? Would you give Rubio in a first? I'm not really sure. And to be honest with you, I'm not that worried about it because there's one thing I've learned. I'm trusting the Cavs organization. I'm trusting their management. I'm trusting their decision-making. I'm certainly not second-guessing any decision they make until they prove me otherwise. So if the Cavs decide to make a move, it's for the better of their team. If they don't decide to make a move, it's for the better of their team. They just didn't have the right options, the right value available. So that's really what it comes down to. I would love to hear from Cavs Nation. Would you guys want to trade for Caris LeVert? And if so, what would you be willing to give up? So hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'll see you guys later.